What's going on, everybody? This is your boy Ash, the man, anime gamer guy here, and we are here to talk about the Netflix original of Kengan Ashura. Now, I definitely checked this thing out, and this anime is really good. It's good. It's not just only one of them beat 'em up animes, but it's like due to like the action, martial arts, and everything that captivates you into the anime, you grown to follow the story very good, even fall in love with many of the characters that they introduce. Because I mean, there's a lot going on here. But then to try to give you this idea of Kengan Ashura, Kengan Ashura is pretty much this anime which, like since the Indo periods, you have like merchants and business owners used to fight amongst themselves pretty much for, business control. But however, when the Lord of the Land pretty much explained to them that they need to have like a better organization, and they end up, orchestrating these arena fights, which the Kangen have to, pretty much be the place of which everything transpired. It's like an underground fight club, pretty much, where representatives of the company, which is the fighters, they can be anybody from martial arts, bodyguards, wrestlers, assassins, mercenaries, any form of combat associate, that's what it can be. And they all get in this ring, and the representation of the company fights, and it can be to the death, to where the winner gets a certain business control. And that's how it goes. And when I mean business control, look at it like this. In the second episode, you had, the main protagonist, which his name is Tokita Ama, winning. He was representing Nogi Group CEO Nagagi Hideki, and pretty much he won against Nakata, which he represented a different company. And they fought over the destruction of this building, in which it could either be for Nagi business, which if he was to knock out a building and use it for his own gain, it's 100 billion profit, in which versus or whatever the company purpose may be for wanting to take over that abandoned building. So they go in the arena and they settle their differences there, whichever one loses has to submit to the other. And in that time, you got to see the main protagonist, fight for that company, and and it was a crazy fight. And to where the Nogi company won, and he gets control of that building and use as he sees please, which is the business movement, which could be a potential 100 billion profit. That's how Kengan Ashura pretty much take place. Now, through the series, you move with Takada Oma, which he is the main protagonist, which he shows up pretty much beating the crap out of this so-called guard. Now, his like representative is Yamashita. He pretty much was a regular office worker. He got thrown into this world by the CEO of the company, I guess due to his drive or whatever. I'm not sure, but he acts scared majority of the episode. But however, at this point he represents the company and being a caretaker for Oma, but end up becoming his own CEO due to the funding of Nagi, so that he could have more, foot in this so-called elimination tournament. And the way that this transpires is that Nogi pretty much has a certain ambition. Everybody don't know what's his true intentions, but of course his goal in this act is so that he can become, the president of this so-called arena Kangen fights. Now, in the term of that, it pretty much CEOs all around wants the opportunity to take that spot also. So you see representatives comes from all where. Now it sounds kind of basic, but it's not, because everywhere that you turn there's always a twist with it. Since the president announced it, people know how to buy behind the rules or go outside and around the rules to where they can't get disqualified. They use other means to kind of like do so. So like when the tournament first started, nobody knew there was gonna be a preliminary where you have like at least about like 100 fighters, and only 5 of them fighters could get on to be one of the main participants. They already had named 28. They only needed 5 more. However, in that 5 more, when this thing happened, which it was this fight named Rashid, you pretty much tried to attack the president. One of his bodyguards flattened his ass out. So in that turn, there was only 32 combatants. But nevertheless, back to the whole structure of this. So it pretty much, where the anime really kicks off is where the tournament starts to begin, because you start to see more faces, you got to see more rivalries, you got to see people coming out the blue. Like for instance, Oma's pretty much arch nemesis is Sesuna. He pretty much was his master murdered Oma's master, in which Oma really didn't care about his master getting murdered because of what his master said, only the strong prevail. So now, since that his arch nemesis, he pretty much want to take him down, because Oma has this thing of wanting to be the best. He want to be the best fighter amongst all. He don't really care what he has to, how it's going to happen. He's going to get it done. So that's the main thing about it. Now, in the course of this, you got to meet some other awesome fighters. Like you get to see like people literally either get murdered, get their ass kicked, or in some instance they just probably don't even get to see fight. Like when you start to like venture into some of the people that actually is fighting, you get amazed about like how some techniques or what they do. They even go into depth like what kind of techniques that person is. Now, I'm not gonna lie, they're not gonna overwhelm you or the reason he moved his pinky like this is because it's to counteract a certain type of move. Now, it's so much as like form and technique in a sense, or a little bit of their background. So you're not just getting thrown into like nowhere's land with this. You actually get to hear, you actually get to see of what they is capable of. Now, I want to jump back to the whole situation with Oma, because Oma has a lot more to himself than what meets. Like the whole thing with his teacher, he keep on reliving memories about what his master taught him in the past and to what he used now. Now also you get a little bit to know about Kamoshida and his lifestyle, because of course with Oma being the main protagonist, being his caretaker, his boss, of course you got to know more about him. Now Kamoshida has a son that doesn't come out the room, but as you venture into the anime, you know that his son actually holds secrets himself, and his son is also is involved in the tournament in many ways. I just say watch the anime and enjoy. So with all that being said about this whole thing, of course, the anime is a season 1. It's not like you're going to get all of that in 12 episodes. It's way more to add to this than what meets the eye. But however, we can go into how we're going to dissect this anime and determine like what's the good things about it. Now, character development with this anime is really good. Like once they get a focus on the character, they kind of like throw history into their character. It could be within a fight, it could be outside of a fight. You get to know the character in some rights, and if you don't get to know him right away, eventually you will. And every character has something to add to the table. It's not like you're going to see a repeat of a character. It's like, yeah, you may got these 3 characters that's like cold and shallow, but each one of them is like cold and shallow in their own way. Like one may be like have a murderous like intent. One may just be calm as I don't know what. One may just be a guy that has no words to really speak of. It's a lot of things that they add when it comes to character development. So character development definitely gets definitely they hit the mark with that. Now, creativity. The anime gets it with creativity when it comes to the fighting style. Now, story-wise and plot-wise, yeah, it's not the most original plot, but however, the way that it shapes up from each like section to section is definitely different. You got to understand that it really like excels at that, because you would think like, okay, it's a regular tournament nominations, but it's like, wait a minute, you got a preliminary, but then you got other things like other rules that may affect certain scenarios to where you may see more than meets the eye. Like I didn't think like certain people was going to fight that they did before the tournament even began. Like in this like whole thing where they was getting on the boats, and everything, and from them being on the boats till the island for the tournament, you have to see a lot of things that happen. So plot wise, not original, but however, they still hit the mark at creativity. So visuals is nice. If you like, a lot of people say, well, it looks too cartoonish, and it's like, Anime doesn't really need that hit. It's like it's either the animation is bad, or you see certain things that really shouldn't just be there. But to me, they hit the mark on everything. I love it. Love the style of it. You don't get too many styles like this that's really, really good. So you just have to appreciate it. So overall, it gets the thumbs up. I mean, if I had to rate it anywhere, I probably would give it like a 9 out of 10. It's that good. I mean, it's a good 12 episodes. I mean, if you off for the weekend and you want something to watch because you don't want to go outside and see the sunlight, check this anime out. It's going to keep you on the edge of your seat. You're going to like it. You're going to like the creativity behind it. You're going to like the fighters that they introduce. You're going to like a lot of characters in here. And you're probably going to dislike some, but that's what makes a good transition from the anime. You're going to love it, like it. Don't hate it, just love it. So, other than that, I just want to thank you guys for definitely tuning in. And again, I just want to let y'all know the reason is about this song is because of the fact that whenever it comes to like a whole season review, I'm reviewing a whole season, giving you a little bit about it, and then I'm gonna tell you what things that they did great in and all. So yeah, again, thank you so much for definitely tuning in. You guys have a wonderful day. Goodbye.